Okay, so if you have a VFC HK416 D gas blowback, you probably really enjoy this blowback rifle. Uh, there's not too many issues that you'll end up having with this rifle, but occasionally there are one or two issues that will pop up. Now, the only issue that I've really had with this gun is at one point the gun wouldn't fire, and I couldn't figure out why. And but I did figure it out, and I'm going to share that with you. Just give me a second here. I'm going to open this up. Sometimes after regular use, the firing pin will deform. And so I'm going to open this up here. And before I go in here and show you all that, this is the back of the firing pin right there. Bring it in closer so you can see it. That black thing you see right there, the shiny part, that's the back of the firing pin. And of course the front of it you can see right down in there. I ought to have a pointer. Hold on, let me get a pointer. Okay, so yeah, this is the back here, and you can see that presses in every time the trigger's pulled. That presses in and hits your valve, and that would be the front of it right down there. See if I push it so you can see. Well, anyway, I'm not going to bother with that. You can see that down there. You can see that that's what touches your nozzle. Okay, now what happens after a lot of regular use is that there's a screw underneath your bolt catch. And that screw is right here underneath this bolt catch assembly. And that'll start to back out. And the firing pin is on it's a conical shaped spring, and I'm going to show that to you. Okay, it's good to have a few of these on hand, because after a lot of use, anything wears out. So what you might want to do is get your hands, and I got these from Red Wolf Airsoft. These are firing pin sets. And you can see the spring in there. I'm not going to open these up, but the spring is a conical. Let me see if I can get it a little better for you to see. See that spring there? Well, anyway, they're conical shaped. And once that screw that I pointed to starts to back off, you're not going to be aware that that screw is backed off. It's going to deform that spring. And there are two ways to fix that spring. One is you can compress it, like stick something through it, like that's small enough to go through there, and compress it in order to get that spring straight again. Or you could have a couple of these on hand. Now this comes with the firing pin itself. Let me get a better view of that. The plastic is causing that shine, and you're not really getting a good look at it. Okay, you can see the spring better there. It's conical, narrow at one end, kind of opened at the other, and then the firing pin right there. And you screw that in, and that pin, that spring is what pushes the firing pin back and forth. Yeah, you might want to have a couple of these on hand, or perhaps you can straighten out the spring that deforms if you ever have that situation. And that's about the only problem that I've ever had with this gun. And what I did was, of course, I did not have the springs at first. I had to order them from Red Wolf Airsoft. What I did was I took this apart. I took the bolt catch out, and you should be careful when doing that because it's spring loaded, and you don't want to lose that little spring in there. And as it lifts, maybe you can see that. I don't know if you can see it in there, but there is a Allen head screw that screws that firing pin assembly down, and that's what backs out. I will put Loctite on there so that you don't have that problem in the future. And it's a very easy install. you know, if you get yourself a small Allen wrench and place it on this side, you know, because there's that lip right there. Anyway, you would place it on this side, knock your pin out in that direction, and then just take the bolt catch assembly off, and you'll be able to reach that little screw that is that's under there, if you can see it. And it's an Allen head screw. Just back it out, and the firing pin assembly comes straight out. And you know, when tightening back up, you don't want to over tighten it, but if you put some Loctite in there, you know, it'll keep it in place, and you won't have that situation anymore. Now, I'm sure somebody else has had this happen, and they know what I'm talking about. And you wonder, well, what's wrong with my gun? It won't shoot. You know, you're thinking there's a BB somewhere lodged, you know, it's preventing it from shooting. And it's really that the spring, the firing pin spring has gotten deformed and needs to be either, you know, compressed and straightened or replaced. So yeah, that's the only problem. So if you have the VFC, this is the VFC model, 416D, HK416D. Yeah, that's about the only problem that I've had with this gun. And I've shot it a lot, let me tell you, a lot. Trying to think if there's anything else I can say that's negative about this or any bad experience. I just haven't had any other bad experiences, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, so if you run into that problem, your HK416D won't shoot, and you can't figure out why, you think there's the BB lodged, you think something's wrong with your nozzle, you know, check and see if that bolt has, that screw has backed its way out and your firing pin spring has gotten deformed before you go, you know, doing something else, because that's probably what the problem is. And other than that, you know, enjoyable training gun, love it, use it a lot, and always having good times. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching. I hope that this helped someone who may have had that experience with their VFC HK416D, and if not, that's something you can use for future reference. All right, peace.